Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Vlog number 196. Going up a little bit late this week. This is now the afternoon on Sunday instead of in the morning, but as I said many times, it's been very busy. I wanted to start off by talking about my gardneri killifish. This is the secondary aquarium I set up after I pulled them out where they had spawned for about 2-3 weeks, and then the fry started hatching out. And then I moved the parents down in here because, well, they needed to go somewhere, and there was lots of plant cover in here. And I thought, well, at least they'll sit in here for a little while, and they'll probably crank out a few fry. Unfortunately, they've actually been doing an awful lot of work, as you can see. This is not a total of what they have. Now, when I feed, especially when I drop in newly hatched brine shrimp, they just come out of the woodwork. There is dozens of fry in here, and it's getting to the point now I don't know what to do, because what I wanted to do originally was I wanted to take this guy and put him with that that pair of females. And I figured, well, I liked him. He's got nice colors, he's got great spunk, he's holding his own with fish that are actually gradually getting bigger than him, and also very aggressive. So I liked everything about him, and I wanted to spawn him with the two females and get all that set up so that I could have a different gene pool. And now it's at the point where I don't know what to do, because this is the original spawn, and there are in here again dozens of no longer fry. These are actually sexing out, as you can see here. A lot of males, which is fine, I guess. What I'll do is, as I get a little bit older, I will pick out the nicer males, and then of course keep all the females, because I think there's maybe 6 or 7 in here altogether. And then I was going to keep that as a colony. But as I said, when I originally first started breeding these guys, I have no use for them. There's no display tank that I can put them in. Technically, that's not entirely true anymore. I do have one tank that I have put all the first spawn males in, and they seem to be doing okay. They haven't really killed anybody off. They haven't died off themselves. I could technically dump in a whole pile more of them, because they are very pretty fish, and see what happens. But like I said, it's not a fish that I have a lot of use for. And this female is the lone female that was in that little 2-gallon tank that I didn't know what in the world she was initially. I had assumed that it was a killifish, because I don't remember ever putting anything in there except maybe a few plants. Obviously there was an egg in that. And yeah, she's in here now because, well, she was outgrowing that little tank, and she was also eating all the scuds. So I got her in here, and I will be adding her to whatever breeding setup I do. The other thing I really would like to talk about today is my culturing. This is the paramecia cultures. Now, if you remember from my first couple of videos that I did separately for these, I had my doubts as to whether or not adding air to the system would cause issues. I have in the past had problems with adding air bubbling in. For some reason, it simply does disrupt the colony's ability to propagate properly. I found that they tended to die off. My solution so far is just to add an awful lot of hay to the top of the water. Believe it or not, that does cut down on some of the gas exchange, but not enough to create any smell. I'd add a lot of hay to the top of this, and I'm still getting, as you can see there, a great deal of production of paramecia and also some cyclopses. But yeah, it's no smell whatsoever, no matter how much I stir that up. It is easy to regulate. Now that's actually kind of something interesting, and that's what I want to do here. These are my other cultures I have going. I have 2 down here, which are another variety of paramecia, which are much smaller. So I'm going to keep those 2 separate and make sure I don't cross-contaminate them. And then these 4, which are on the right, those 2 are mostly mostly paramecia. And then the 2 on the left are a mix of cyclopses and paramecia. And yeah, the only additional thing I've done to these differently is I've added snails, which seem to help keep things a little bit cleaner, which is nice. And the other thing I've stopped doing it for the moment is I have stopped adding oak leaves. I'm just going with pure hay. Because one other thing I want to test out, and I'm going to probably do a recap video for all of that at some point in the future, is I'm going to desiccate some turnips, which is one of the things that you find if you look online for how to culture paramecia. Is one of the things that they recommend, which is dehydrated turnips. I'm going to give that a shot, see if it makes any difference. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what you use. I think it'll all be fine. Now these two tanks are rather interesting because I see some interesting colors for the guppies coming up, and I really do want to, I keep saying this, I do really want to breed more and more of them, and I want, because they're a fish I can actually use an awful lot of. And you'll also notice in that tank on the right there is a pair of zebra danios. I want to breed them some more as well. Almost all of them have gone out to clients, so I do need to start propagating more of them along with the white clouds. And if you remember from a while back, I put some hornwort into this bubbling filter to see if it would actually do okay. As you can see, it's still doing all right, but I've noticed that I didn't prune any of the hornwort in the tank itself, and you see at the back corner where it started off, it's all kind of losing its needles and such because of the constriction. And I think that may possibly be the reason why it doesn't do well in the little box, because it doesn't have the space to expand. So I'm going to shut this all down. I'm going to prune back the hornwort, give it the space it needs, and I'm going to move this box filter into the back, and I'll use the undergarland filter and the high humidity planter filter in another aquarium. So yeah, that's pretty much the updates for today. There's one other thing I want to talk about, and that has to do with this aquarium, which is down in the bottom of that rack, and I'm breeding in a lot of guppies in here, you're going to see. And this is the only thing that might make that hornwort conclusion I came to with that top tank possibly not true, which is it seems to be dying off a little bit in here, but there's an awful lot of plants in this tank. There may be something else at work, but I don't like to say anything is exactly the way it is until I've done it a number of times over a few years. So in time I might come to a different conclusion on what is causing that hornwort to not do as well up there. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. The last clip of this is going to be showing you some babies in this tank, but then they're guppy babies. They tend to do their thing regardless of what you want them to do, and they have tons of fry. So anyway, leave comments, let me know what you think about all this. Any suggestions you have for future videos are always welcome, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.